I'm here to read a few of my stories to you, in an attempt to do an audiobook, something a little special to possibly scare the pants off of you. My first story, Bloody Birthday. "Come on, Aiden, it's time to blow out your candles," said Trish, his mom, as the partygoers were finishing singing "Happy Birthday." Aiden's mother wasn't crazy about the theme for the party, but The Walking Dead was her son's favorite television show, and it's what he desperately wanted. Finally, Trish relented as she couldn't resist his constant pleading any longer. Aiden insisted that his mom and dad dress in costume for the party, but he was also delighted to see that a few of his friends and family got into the spirit and dressed as zombies as well. Some of the relatives had arrived already. They drifted away from the party and were over by the pond. Aiden's mom chose Yaktangi Park as the location for the party because it has a shelter house, lots of room to play games, a playground, and it's a great area for the party because of these things. Plus, the pond, which was next to it, was great for fishing and riding paddle boats. Aiden agreed that it was the perfect setting for the party. A few of Aiden's cousins and his aunt devoured the cake and ice cream and decided to forego the presents so they could skip rocks on the pond. Aiden looked in their direction to yell, "Thank you," for their present when he saw something big moving along the water, near where the ducks were swimming. Look, it's a huge fish," Aiden's cousin shouted. "It looks big enough to eat the ducks," Aiden's aunt exclaimed. A few more family members and passerbys moved in closer to see what all the commotion was about. What started out as looking like a huge fish under the water was something entirely different. In fact, there were several floating objects in the water. Aiden's attention was immediately pulled from opening presents to what was happening at the pond. He soon noticed everyone in the vicinity was focused on the same thing: what was causing the big commotion at the pond. Aiden slowly walked toward the water, focusing all his attention on something coming up out of the water. To his disbelief and outright terror, he saw several figures emerging from the water and walking toward him and the partygoers behind him. "Oh my God, Mom! They look so real! They look like real zombies from The Walking Dead!" Aiden was beyond excited for what he believed to be the ultimate surprise. Several people were crawling out of the pond and walking the grounds near the party area. Most of the younger children scurried away from the horde approaching the birthday party. "This is badass! This looks so friggin' real!" said Aiden's uncle, who was already dressed as a dollar store zombie. His getup paled in comparison to the obvious hours of work that went into how authentic and movie-like these zombies looked. "They've got to be professionals," one of the partygoers said to Aiden's uncle. "This must have cost Trish some big bucks," Adam thought to himself. A young couple walking by with their dog came to a stop and watched for a moment. "Oh my God, Kyle, it's a zombie walk," excitedly said his girlfriend. The young couple stopped moving and continued watching the large group of people dressed as the undead approached them. A random passerby walked up to the horde and stood next to one of the zombies, hoping for a selfie, but he was instantly grabbed by one of them. The zombie bit deep into the man's neck and grabbed onto his face. The poor man let out an echoing scream. The sound and his flailing drew the attention of the rest of the horde. They descended upon him like a group of starving tigers on a wounded gazelle. The young couple was ripped apart by the other wandering undead cannibals as they stood still in shock. The crowd that gathered to watch the horde emerge from the pond started running away from the scene and screaming. The sounds and movement caught the attention from some of the zombies, and they started to spread out. Most of them started moving towards the birthday party. The confusion and chaos was too much for everyone in the park. One person after another was getting grabbed, attacked, and bitten by what was believed to be a birthday party surprise. parents were rushing to their children and attempting to grab them and flee between all of the madness. Aiden saw his father in the distance. His dad had finally returned from a last-minute cola run to the store. Aiden wasn't sure how to run through the hell that was breaking loose around them so he could get to his father. He started walking swiftly in the direction of where he saw him. His heart stopped and his gag reflexes kicked in as he tripped over body parts, half-eaten partygoers, and random strangers. Aiden's mother started running towards his father, hoping that he could get them help and a quick escape. "Mom! Dad!" Aiden cried. Aiden began to stumble, then run into his parents' direction. He was only a few feet away from them when he noticed that his dad had blood on his shirt and his arm. The trail of blood was flowing from the side of his neck. "Dad! Dad!" Aiden screamed. His newly zombified father stopped sauntering and turned to look in his direction. Aiden's mother was within an arm's reach of his dad. It was too late for her to notice that he was now a shell of his former self. Aiden's dad grabbed onto her and bit deep into her face. Her cheekbone was now exposed as the flesh was ripped away by the ravenous biting. "Trish!" Screams. Her echoes were heard through the park. "Mom! No! Dad! Stop it! Stop!" Aiden screamed as he watched his mother fall at his father's feet. Blood poured from her deep gashes. Aiden could feel the ice flow through his veins and noticed that his feet felt cemented to the ground as absolute fear crept through his body. He looked around to see more and more of his friends and family running from the party, lying dead on the ground, being attacked by the undead, or rising up to walk among the horde of the walking dead. This was supposed to be a beautiful, memorable day for Aiden. All of the partygoers, friends, and family were supposed to be celebrating another year of Aiden's life. As his mother arose after being eaten alive, both of Aiden's parents started to slowly walk towards a sobbing Aiden. He stretched out his arms as to hug them and to face the inevitable on his bloody birthday.